Hi crafty friends, Carrie here. So this is day one of the 25 gifts under $10 hop. And for today, what we're going to be making are these cute tags. I call these pick-up tags, pick-me-up tags. Okay, so for the tag itself, you need a piece of lightweight chipboard that is 3.5 inches wide by 5 inches high, and you'll need a piece of decorative cardstock that measures the same. And then you could either use another piece of decorative cardstock, or in this case I chose this pale blush so that the person could write on the back of the tag. Okay, so I put down some ATG tape in the middle, but then I'm going to take some tacky glue and I'm going to put it all along the edges and in the middle, and unfortunately my tacky glue is getting low and giving me some problems. Anyway, here we go. So you can use any glue you want. I like to use tacky glue because it's not as wet as some of the thinner glues. It still gives you a little bit of play time, and I find it's a really good stronghold. It is one of my favorite adhesives. So after we get the glue all over, you're going to take your decorative paper, and I use my fingers and just line up the corners, and then I lay it, and then I check it out, even it up before I press it down, and then once I have it in the right spot, I press it down. Now I'm going to take a bone folder, and I'm going to press down really hard, and if glue leaks out, I will wipe it up with this napkin. And actually, in a way, you want glue to leak out the edges, because that means you have glue all the way to the edges. Also, really going over it with a bone folder or some other heavy object, make sure that the glue is flattened out and you won't have any little ripples and ridges. Now we're going to do the same thing on the back. Okay. So we're going to get the glue all around, and then we'll take our piece of cardstock and we will put it down, and then do the same thing. Wipe up any glue that oozes out as you go along. Wipe off your bone folder if you get any on that, so that you don't get it on anything else. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to slip this under my mat and let it dry for a few minutes. And we're going to start working on our box that we will use to hold all of our tags in. Now we are making 6 tags. I'm just demonstrating the one on video, but you make all 6 the same way. So you need, for the box, you're going to need a piece that is 12 inches by 8 inches. And then for the lid of the box, you need a piece that is 7 1/8 inches by 5 1/8. Okay, you're going to need some decorative paper, and what you will need is one that is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, one that is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4, 2 that are 5 1/4 by 1 1/4, one that is 3 7/8 by 1 7/8, 2 that are 3 7/8 by 1 1/4, and 2 that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. You also will need a little piece of lightweight chipboard that is just slightly less than 2 inches by slightly less than 4 inches, and then just a piece of pink paper or whatever color you're using cardstock to wrap it in. Okay, so now we are going to start with the scoring. And on the 12-inch side, we will score at 5 1/2 inches and then at 7 1/2 inches. And then we will turn it to the 8-inch side, and we will score it at 2 inches, and we'll score the other side at 6 inches. Now we'll take the piece for our lid, and we're going to score at 1 1/2 inches, and then we'll turn it and we will score at 1 1/2 inches. then we will turn it the other way and we'll do 1.5 inches and flip it and do 1.5 inches. So basically you score all 4 sides. Okay, now you're going to take this and you're going to take just a teeny little sliver triangle off. So as you can see laying over there, just a little sliver. So you see how that looks? It's just a small little sliver out. Then you're going to turn it over to the other side and you're going to do the same thing to it. And this just makes it easier when we go to fold the box up. Now, on the 5.5 inch side, on these outside ones, you're going to take off just a little sliver, probably about 1/8 of an inch, not very much. There again, it's just going to make it easier when we go to fold the box. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start putting our box together. I'm going to put a piece of tape right there, and then I'm going to take some glue and put it all around. And then you want to line up and make sure you have the bottom even. And then it probably would have been easier if I had put the tape on the other piece, but I forgot. So I'm just going to come in here and do it like this. And then we're going to do the same thing. And now you're attaching it to the longer side, to the 5.5 inch side first. Now we're going to come in and we're going to run a piece of tape down on the 4.5 inch side, and we're going to add glue. And I'll just go ahead and do both pieces. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to come up and you just want to make sure you make your edges meet. And I'm sorry, this is out of frame. But you want to make sure the bottom and the sides meet. And then you're going to come in, and I just take a bone folder and go in and rub it all around. Okay, and so that makes our bottom part of our box. Now we're going to do the lid, and coming in on the shorter side, you're going to cut the middle and free that middle piece on the shorter side, on the 5 1/8 inch side. So basically we're doing the same thing as we did on the box. And we're going to do the same thing here. On the middle piece, or rather on the end pieces, we're going to trim out a little sliver. So we're not doing the middle one on this one, we're doing the end pieces. We're trimming a little sliver off of each side of those. And that will just make it easier when we go to fold the box. Okay. So what we're going to do here, I think I just saw a little spot where I missed something, but anyway, okay. So now I'm just going to use glue. I'm going to put it on these outside pieces. Now these little tabs here go to the inside. The wider one in the middle is the outside piece. So you're just going to match up your edges like so. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. And just make sure you have it nice and square. And then rub it with your bone folder to make good contact. And if you see any little straggly pieces, clip them off, which is what I was doing there. Okay, so we are going to start decorating. We're going to start with the lid, and we are going to take the piece that is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and that goes on the top of our lid. And I'm just going to add glue all around. And then I'm just going to kind of take my fingers and center it so that it's fairly even. And I'm just going to take my bone folder and just kind of try to mash it down to make sure I got it good. Okay, then we're going to take a piece that is 3 7/8 of an inch by 1 1/4 inches. And that goes on the long side of the thing. And we're just going to put that on. Same thing, use bone folder. And then we're going to take the other piece that's the same size. And we're going to add glue, and we're going to put it onto the other side. Just kind of centering it. Use our bone folder to get it smoothed down good. And then we will take the little pieces. Okay, and I'm sorry, I gave the wrong measurements for these pieces. Before I said 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, they're 1 7/8 of an inch by 1 1/4 inches. It is correct in the description below. But we're going to take those and we're going to put them onto the ends of the lid. Okay, and now we are going to do our box. And we're going to start with the long piece. So we're going to start with the piece that is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And put glue all over it, and then we're just going to center it onto the back of our box. Press it down with our hands, and then we'll turn it over and come in with our bone folder and just try to make sure that we rub all over so that it is got good contact everywhere, especially along the edges. And then we're going to do the side snake. So we're going to take the pieces that are 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. glue to these. And then we're going to do the same thing and attach them to the sides. Okay, and we will then use the bone folder to get it down, and then we're going to do the other side. Basically doing the same thing. Try to get glue, along the edges. As like I say, you do want to make sure you have good contact, especially on the edges, because you don't want it to lift up. And use your bone folder to get in and get it smooth. And then we'll take the last piece and we're going to come in here and center it on the front. And then we will use our bone folder to go inside and get that down. If you have any little leakage of glue, just wipe it off with a paper towel or a napkin. And then that basically is our box. Now I have this little cut apart from the paper pad collection. I'm just seeing if I like it on here. And I do decide that I like it. So this is a little, I think it's like a 3x4 or something like that. It was just a little cut apart. It's like a journaling card size. And I decided that I do like that, so I'm going to put this onto the front. I'm just adding my glue. And then I am going to just center it onto the front of the box. Now you can decorate your box however you want. You could add flowers, you can add ribbon. That's really up to you. I'm keeping it relatively simple. So that's our box. And now we're going to do that piece of lightweight chipboard. And I'm just going to take ATG tape, run it all along here, and then I'll just center it. And then I'm just going to take, and I'm just going to miter cut, just leaving a little space above the corners on all four corners. And then I'm just going to take this and just kind of fold. And then I'm just going to come back and I'm just going to run a little ATG tape along here. And then just fold my pieces in. And then I'm going to put that into the bottom of the box. That's just to make sure that the bottom of the box is sturdy. And it just slips right in there. Okay. So now we're going to finish up this card. I make a little template when I'm doing tags. So I cut this 3.5 inches wide and about 2 inches long. Or 3.5 inches long and 2 inches high, whatever. Okay. And then what I did was I measured in from the corners at 1/2 inch along the top side, and then I measured down 1/2 inch. And then I just took my scissors and did an angle cut. And then that gives me a template. And then I just use this as a template for all of my tags so that it is the same. Okay, I'm just going to take my punch and punch a hole approximately in the center. You can measure to get the exact center if you want. I don't usually bother. Now here are the other ones that I made. And one thing that I forgot to do on the one that I just showed you was to rim the edges in gold. I have a gold paint pen that I went around and did all the edges on those. So I will go back and do that one. I took some sentiments stamps that I have and I just stamped it onto light pink cardstock. And then on these I quarter rounded 2 in the corners to make this kind of pattern. You can also punch it out using a punch. If you don't have stamps, you could cut out pieces from a pad, or use Project Life cards, or you could get stickers that have sentiments on them, and then you could take those stickers, stick them onto a piece of cardstock, cut it out, and then you'll be able to also use the pop dots to give you a little bit of a raised element. Okay, so I have a little heart charm. And what I'm going to do is take a little jump ring and I'm going to feed the ribbon through. And then I'm going to feed the ribbon through the hole. Okay. Then you just take this and hold on to the jump ring with one pair of pliers, just where it splits at, and then you just twist it. And then you just hook it into the other jump ring, twist it back to close, and you have it on. Then I'm going to take some of this ribbon. Those scissors don't like to cut ribbon. I'm having a hard time cutting ribbon. Okay. I'm not the world's best bow tire, I'll tell you that right now. But I pull this organza ribbon up, and then I pull this other ribbon around, which is a lightweight, like knitting ribbon actually. And then I just get it tied on there, and then I'm just going to tie a bow, which I'm pretty crappy at doing. And then I just adjust the size I like. And I hold the loops and I hold the tails. I just kind of pull them down a little bit. Try to get it positioned the way I like it. And then I just cut it at an angle and make it even. Then I'm going to pull off all of these little pop dot covers. And I just stick it on. Okay, you just decide where you want it and put it on. Okay, now I have these little bags. You can get these just about anywhere. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Tuesday Mornings. You can get them in prints, you can get them in solids. I'm just taking 6 assorted ones. Now you could stick these onto the back of the tag, and then you'd be able to fit in a gift card or like a Ghirardelli's chocolate or something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add them into the box and let my recipient decide if they want to add that onto the back. So I put all the tags in the box, I slip the little things in, arrange my ribbons, and then you have that, and then my ribbons are poking up too much, so I come back in and arrange my ribbons again. Okay, so you can decorate this, you can add flowers to it, you can tie it with ribbon, like that. You just tie a little piece of ribbon around the top. You can decorate it however you want. But anyway, you now have a nice gift to give. And they're sort of like cards, but not exactly, and your recipient can tie them onto a gift or however they want to give them. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and we will be posting one each day. My sister's channel is linked in the description box. She's the only other one participating in the hop this time, so there's only the two of us, so it's a short hop. But I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful crafty day.